Welcome to the Women on the Rise podcast. I'm Jen Blandos, and I am so excited to share with you that for the next 30 days, I am introducing you to 30 of Female Fusion's members from around the world. They're going to share with you their stories of entrepreneurship, their highs, the lows, what inspired them to get into business, which I hope will inspire you along your entrepreneurial journey. Welcome to another episode of the Women on the Rise podcast, and our special edition where we are featuring 30 days of 30 Female Fusion members, and we tell their stories of how they got started in entrepreneurship, and we talk about their highs and their lows and everything in between. And today I am joined by Antonia Bates, who is the founder of Studio New and the Healthy Entrepreneur Club. Welcome to the podcast, Antonia.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, I would love to, we have so many things to talk about, but first, why don't you tell everybody who's listening and watching just a little bit about your businesses?
So we've got the Healthy Entrepreneur Club and Studio New, and it kind of started with Studio New in the UK. So my background is in interior design, and I worked for a company in the UK for about 5 years doing interior design and fit out for residential and commercial projects. And alongside that, I kind of had a side hustle where I was designing projects online and all around the world. So it was all in the UK, UAE, Scandinavia, and the US. And we actually had a car accident last year, which was sort of the catalyst for us to move to Dubai. So we ended up selling everything we owned and moved to Dubai in the space of 3 months of the car accident. And so September last year, we brought the business over, so Studio New, over to Dubai. And in about 6 months, we designed and fit out 6 or 7 offices. And because we worked really closely with entrepreneurs and business owners during this time, we realized that they actually have a lot more issues like stress, burnout, at the risk of burning out. And so we kind of thought we actually have a solution to this based on our corporate experiences, based on our past businesses, because we had a business in property development where we actually experienced signs of burnout as well and overcame it. And so we have found, or creating a movement, how we like to call it, a movement, where we can work with entrepreneurs as a one-stop shop to grow your business and your health all in one place. So we are building a movement to kind of raise awareness to prioritise their mental and physical well-being as well.
That's so interesting because the topic of mental health, well-being, all of these things are so topical with entrepreneurs. And I know a number of business owners have suffered burnout either in running their business or in a previous job. Typically, they had a corporate role or something like that, had burnout, and realized that they wanted to do something different, which led to them setting up their business.
Yeah.
So when you're working with entrepreneurs, what do you see are some of the biggest challenges that they have?
So a lot of it is loneliness and overwhelm, and I guess also guilt as well. So entrepreneurship can be very lonely, and it can also be very stressful. There's no such thing as work-life balance within entrepreneurship. I mean, in our corporate jobs, we clocked off at a certain time, had nice family friend time, and you had that work-life balance, whereas there was a clear kind of cut, wasn't there, when you finish work. But when within entrepreneurship, because it kind of consumes you, doesn't it? Like you're constantly working because, I mean, I love it.
If you're not
personally.
working, you're thinking about your business.
Yeah, or you're just quickly replying to an email on your phone. Or so there's no such thing as a work-life balance. So we kind of call it the healthy hustle, where you can work and follow your passion, follow your dreams, but not forgetting to look after yourself. So recognizing the signs of burnout and knowing what to do to prevent them or to overcome them. So yeah, that's...
And I guess understanding that it's okay to make yourself a priority.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we, certainly I used to feel guilty for spending time going to the gym. Like I'd be sat at my desk and I would be like, right, yes, okay, I'm sat at my desk, but I wouldn't necessarily be working. There's this thing called Parkinson's law where you can, have you heard about it? Where you can, if you're given 4 hours to complete something or to a deadline, you'll get it done in 4 hours. Whereas if you're given 4 days, you'll get it done in 4 days.
Yeah.
So what is an hour and a half out of your day to go to the gym or go for a walk or just look after yourself? Because in reality, you're going to produce better work.
Yes.
Because you've got a clearer head, a clearer mind, and happier.
And so often people don't prioritize that, right?
No.
And I didn't used to either. And I got to the point where I was so focused on my work that I forgot looking after myself. And I speak about that quite a lot as well, that, you know, I had breast cancer when I was younger and then learned kind of about that. But even as well in the pandemic, I think a lot of us were guilty of this, that we were so busy working and working on our businesses that also because the gyms were closed and that it was very easy just to go, oh, I'll work out next week.
Yeah, exactly.
And I realized after a while that I wasn't fit anymore. I went from being like super, super fit to not fit at all.
Yeah.
And it can very easily happen, especially if you get consumed with a project or a crisis or something within your business, that everything else gets prioritized and you get prioritized last.
Yeah. It can actually be a really slippery slope. And I think preventing burnout and preventing that guilt rather than trying to overcome it is easier. So if you can create a healthy hustle week, that's what kind of we work with our entrepreneurs.
So what does a healthy hustle week look like?
So it's doing daily activities which will be making you money. You're working on the right things within your business, but you're also prioritizing your mental health, your physical health, your self-care, seeing friends and family, doing the things that you love, personally and professionally. So it's making sure that you're living a healthy lifestyle. You're not just consumed completely by business, and obviously risking burning out.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to make the time for that. And one thing that I have always really hated as well is this, especially for women, I feel that we have this pressure that it's like, well, you can have it all. You can be a mum. You can have a business. You can have your friends. You can have your family. You can have your relationship with your husband. And so many women are like, oh, okay. And then they try and do that and realize they can't do it. And there's no perfect balance.
No.
That you are not able to perfectly balance everything, especially when you have a family.
Yeah.
I remember that you have time when your kids need you, and you're not able to give your best to work or to your relationship or anything else. And I think we need to give ourselves a lot of grace for that and realize that it's okay to be a bit messy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We can't be perfect. And I have people say to me now, they're like, how do you do it all?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? I'm not doing it all. I am a hot mess. You know, like I'm screwing up all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's what life is.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah, definitely.
And I think it can be dangerous sometimes that people portray on social media. They're like, oh, look at me. I look fabulous this morning. I look perfect. I have a perfect life. Here I am taking my kids to school in my beautiful car. And then I'm at work and, oh, doesn't this look beautiful? And I have time for lunch with a friend. And then I'm going to the gym.
It's so unrealistic, and it's also really damaging. I actually had a conversation with someone a few weeks ago about this, and it is really damaging for your mental health. And like, no wonder there's so much anxiety and depression, because social media is portraying such a perfect lifestyle that is really unrealistic. And I think what people like to see is raw footage and kind of behind the scenes, and how a successful super businesswoman who's doing everything, juggling everything, how they're realistically doing it.
Yeah, because you're not juggling everything.
No.
And you're dropping stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
and it's relatable, isn't it?
I think we need to talk about that more. And I do that sometimes. I find it hard sometimes to constantly be sharing on social media because I'm also like, I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like spend time with my kids or my husband and not have to document all of it. But I find where I get a lot of my inspiration is I made a commitment to myself this year that I would exercise almost every day.
Yeah.
So long as I could, like so long as I wasn't traveling or I wasn't sick or something came up with work, I would try and make a commitment to go every single day. And my friends didn't believe me.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're not going to do that. Good luck. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I think as well, because people didn't believe me.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to go to the
Prove them
gym
wrong.
every single day. I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I want to get my certificate.
Amazing. Fair play.
Turning up.
Yeah.
And I actually did. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, that I joined F45. Now, F45, people said to me, they're like, are you sponsored by F45? I'm like, no, I'm not. I should be, but I'm not. Pay my membership like everybody else does.
Yeah.
But they're great because it's 45 minutes. 45 minutes, you're in and out.
Yeah. What kind of classes do you
It's
do?
high intensity
Yeah.
interval classes.
Yeah,
So it's great. So
amazing.
you go in 45 minutes, you exercise, you get your sweat on, and you're like, oh, I worked out.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
Yeah. And you've
And-
worked really hard and yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
And
amazing.
that's what I say to people too sometimes, like, you might not have 2 hours to the gym. So find that time so you have that fitness, whether
Yeah.
it's going for a walk or finding a gym class
Yeah.
like I did with F45,
Yeah.
just to go and get that,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
fitness as
Yeah.
well.
We've actually got we've created, Freddie and I are actually trying it out now, but we've created a fitness program that based on our experiences. So we do CrossFit now, and I've got an background in gymnastics. So I was a gymnast and then turned gymnastics coach.
Wow.
And taught adults and children. But we've created a program designed specifically for the busy entrepreneur where they can actually do high intensity workouts, but also like toning workouts. It's more functional fitness.
Okay.
Which is
great.
completely free for entrepreneurs to download.
Wow. Yeah, because we do need to take the time to have that fitness,
Yeah.
whatever it is that you're doing, because I find it clears your mind as well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. And also this movement and energy that you're creating when you're working out is, for me personally, it's translated directly into the business. And I guess that's sort of reflected through, we kind of say how it's your health is a reflection of you and your business and your values.
Yeah.
And it also shows discipline, and your clients will then respect you for that, for looking after yourself. So
Discipline, consistency.
yeah,
You know, having that discipline and the consistency pays off.
Yeah.
Not only in kind of health and wellness,
Yeah.
but also in your business.
Yeah.
The people who show up, who constantly show up, who are consistent.
yeah.
Do well in business.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a compound effect, isn't it? So
Yeah.
small steps lead to great results.
Yeah. So the Healthy Entrepreneur Club is like a club in a way, and you can have a membership.
Yeah, so it's more of a movement in a way. So it is a club, but we're building a movement to raise awareness for the mental and physical well-being of entrepreneurs, to create a healthy hustle week, and to really pull back, refine their business so that they can find more time to look after themselves whilst adding value to their business and making more money at the same time. So it's a one-stop shop, a whole package for entrepreneurs to give them the freedom to grow.
Nice. And it's a digital membership, right?
Yeah, so we have a digital membership with an online community with like-minded entrepreneurs. And then we also have systems which we can install one-to-one with each entrepreneur and their business.
Well, we love digital memberships in
I
Female
know.
Fusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you joined Female Fusion when you were in the UK initially, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
so I had signed up in the UK and then I officially joined and went to the events in, I want to say January this year.
Okay.
So fairly new, but I feel like I've been there for ages and it's been awesome. It's been so, so good.
What have you found has been the benefit for you or your business?
So definitely a community of like-minded people. So as I mentioned before, it's being an entrepreneur can be extremely lonely and overwhelming. And especially sometimes being a woman in entrepreneurship can be quite difficult and stressful. And so being surrounded by like-minded women who are all super supportive and friendly has been a massive help, and it's really, really helped us not only within business but transition to the UAE from the UK. It's been good.
It's nice. I find I just love being surrounded by women who are doing something similar, because it's nice to know that you're not alone, and it's nice to know that if you're struggling with something, you can always ask questions or connect with people.
Yeah, and bounce off each other, and it's really, really good.
Oh, and for you, what are the next plans for Healthy Entrepreneur Club?
So we are launching our membership in a few days' time, actually. We also have an online platform which is purely health and well-being focused. So we've got something called the Healthy Algorithm, where you have workouts, recipes, self-care activities, and then you can track it in the algorithm that we've created. So you can track exactly how much sleep you've had, how many hours, what kind of self-care activities you've done, and then see how that directly correlates against your business metrics. So you can see your productivity levels, you can see your leads, your sales.
Wow.
So we've created like a whole platform. So that'll be launching fairly soon as well.
A lot of
going
launches.
On. I know.
Well, I'm going to be interested to hear from you what you think of launching afterwards, because launching is special in itself. When you have a digital business, I know some people either love it or they hate it.
Yeah.
It's kind of either one or the other. So I'll be interested to hear how that goes as well. Well, your first launch is always... It can be a bit challenging when you have your first launch. I think for Female Fusion now we're on to about launch number 12 or 13. And every time you do a launch, you learn something, and you learn different things as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, best of luck with your launch.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Thanks. Thanks for listening to the Women on the Rise podcast and our 30 most inspiring female entrepreneurs. If you are inspired by today's episode, why not come and join us in Female Fusion? We would absolutely love to have you. This is where you will be able to connect with the most incredible female entrepreneurs who are all committed to building a most profitable business. All you need to do is head over to femalefusionnetwork.com/join. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.